What's up, everybody? It's your boy Shean Seward, and I just read on my Facebook, somebody gave me the suggestion that I should let go of some things in life. Some things I don't feel like I can, but everything has a start. I should have been started a while ago. Well, there's one thing in particular in my life that I find it very hard to let go because I do feel like it haunts me wherever I do go. And for some of y'all that know me, you may already know what it be. It pertains to my arrest in 1997, being accused of robbery. One of the reasons I feel like I can't let go is the fact that it's on my record. And also, I don't feel like enough people believe me. So here, 2012, so many years later, is my attempt to go ahead and appeal to the masses my truth of what happened. First of all, the date was 1997, May 15th, 1997. About 7:45 or so, I was knocked out asleep, and I started hearing knocks at the door at my parents' house in which I lived. For some of y'all who visited there, knew my room was in the basement. So immediately I didn't want to go upstairs to answer the door because I'm like, whoever the heck needs to be here or be inside has a key. So I'm not going to answer the door. And I continue to hear knocks. Alright, so I get up out of my sleep. And I'll tell everybody right here that I was sleeping nude that night. Yes. So I reached for first pants I felt, which happened to be some blue slacks. Put those on. Went upstairs barefoot, bare chest and everything. Got to the door. Was like, who is it? Nobody answered right away. Couldn't see through the peephole. So I opened the door and immediately was greeted by 5 Glocks. Delwood and St. Louis County Police were holding. I could see behind them a small crowd of people, a helicopter go over in the sky, and several police cars and other cars parked messed up outside the house. I let them in, of course. You know, guys with guns, you don't really argue with them that easily. They came in, put me against the wall, and started searching me with no shirt on and just these pants. The rest of the cops started going through the house while they handcuffed me and sat me down on the couch. I believe it was a Ferguson police officer that was sitting with me, which I tried to ask him what was going on. He told me to shut up and sit right there. As I watched these guys go all through the house, a bunch of things went through my head. At that time, I did have a warrant for my arrest in Ferguson for a failure to appear on a misdemeanor case, and I was like, "Whoa, they're coming real tough for this trespassing." I saw them in my sister's room, going through everything, and one of the officers came out with my sister's jacket. Said this was had to have been the jacket he was wearing. And I'm like, "What the heck's going on?" They stood me up, took me to the front door, handcuffed and all. It looked like they were getting prepped to get out, go outside. So we go outside and they'll walk me up the walkway towards all the cars. And at that time, I saw then Channel 2 and Channel 5 setting up tripods. So I'm like, whoa, what the heck is going on, right? They walked these dogs past me into my parents' house, walked me to my driveway, and this was the chief of police, by the way, walked me out to the driveway in which they signaled a car to go ahead and come on. And they said, the people said it was me. So put me in the car, took me to the Delwood police station. Officer Law was the one booked me in. If anybody growing up in Delwood remember Officer Law, he was kind of the playful guy out the group and kind of a proclaimed coolest with us in the neighborhood. I asked him, what was I getting charged with? And they finally told me, first degree robbery, armed criminal action. And I'm like, are you kidding me? I've been at home asleep this whole time. What are y'all? I'm thinking of Delwood now. Let me explain a little short thing about Delwood police officers. They were some a-holes and pretty much involved in harassment of the different people in the community, and flat out didn't like us. I don't know why. They didn't like them either, though. They took me to St. Louis County Jail, held me there, where oddly enough, my boy Philandy came out of nowhere into the holding cell. Like, what's up? I'm like, what the heck are you doing here? Like if you know Philandy, it's like, where the heck did this dude just come from, right? He comes into the cell and he's like, man, it's all over the news. What? Like, you robbed Stop and Shop? It's like, it's on the news? It's like, yeah, it's all over the news. And I'm like, man, I didn't rob anybody. I'm waiting to get out now because these people are tripping. I didn't do anything. I should be going home. And hey, I'll even go ahead and tell you this much. Philandy told me he knew there was going to be a robbery going on. My boy Jake, sorry to put you out there, boy, but he told me boy Jake Casper knew who did it. Somebody who was already talking about robbing places. I forgot dude named Dion, something like that, right? Stretch, fucker. That's not fair. I don't know if he actually did it. That was the word on the street. He just happened to shave his head same time as before, and it was known that he had robbed a couple of other places around Delwood already. Dude was on a freaking spree or whatever. Well, they came to the holding cell and told me that my bond was set at $75,000, no 10%. From there, I had to get comfortable. I went through jail 12 months before trial with friends on Facebook right now who were in there, and they got to witness what was up. I kind of became the man in jail. I rapped, worked in the kitchen all the time, and I became a whiz at the law library. So, and that was thanks to this dude, Curtis, who was in there, went ahead and helped me understand how to use the statute books, such like that. So I effectively started building my case before a trial. Matter of fact, I say 6 months into it, I had a public defender who was worthless. I had to file my own. I had to file my own motion for bond reduction. I mean, it's like my lawyer should have been on that. Well, I ended up retaining a very good guy by the name of Donnell Smith, who's doing big things in the STL. I've heard, seen his website, dude clowning and everything, right? But 12 months until trial. I went to trial. Trial lasted 4 days. One of the most scariest things in life, y'all. That stuff you see on TV, it does not even capture the drama that it is for a person going to trial. And as I imagine, that's the only trial I've been through. It was even more frightening to me because I was innocent. I am innocent. At the end of the 4 days, getting dressed in Armani suits by my boy Donnell Smith, feeling all fresh and stuff. Yo, they said I look like the attorney up in there. The jury went out to deliberate. They deliberated 9 hours. It's a pretty long time for y'all if you've never been through a trial. 9 hours I had to sit in a little cell wondering what these people are going to say. They brought me out and they said the state or the St. Louis County the juries came to the conclusion that it was a mistrial. 11 guilty and 1 not guilty. 1 not guilty. Had I been convicted on that, I'd still been in prison now with the 28 years that they probably would have given me for that. Well, they set up new trial to send me back to my cell now. Consider this is when The St. Louis County Jail was out in, I already forgot where it was, but it was like kind of out someplace before they moved to Clayton. They wanted me to make this decision. They came with this offer after the first trial was a mistrial. They dropped the first degree robbery, the second degree robbery, and completely dropped the armed criminal action, which both of those would carry automatic 15% something, or not 15%, but I had to do 85% of that if I was to be convicted on that. And a very strange offer to go home in 4 months upon completion of a 120-day program in Boonville Penitentiary. All I heard was go home. I'm gonna be honest. As much knowledge and stuff as I have now, consider I was 20 years old. As much knowledge and stuff as I had now, I would have definitely fought that. I would have understood that they started dropping charges because they understood that there was no case. But like I said, all I heard was go home. And hell, after doing freaking 13 months in jail, I felt like, what's another 4 months in prison? I can handle it. Didn't really understand the consequences of making that decision further on in life. That was a blow to me, a complete setback. For the fact that the Delwood police officers didn't do their job correctly. Looking back at the case, you had Officer Napier, who upon hearing about the robbery, got a description apparently from this crazy lady who saw the robber hopping a fence, and the wig apparently fell off his head then that he was wearing, because he robbed the place with a braided wig on. A braided wig, y'all. And she said the guy was bald-headed. And Officer Napier, upon sitting on the stand, said that once he heard that the robber was a bald-headed black male, he immediately thought of Shean Seward, because he was the only bald-headed black male in Delwood. Crazy, I know. I was like, wow. When I heard him say that on the stand, I'm turning to my lawyer. I'm like, whoa, he can't. That's not, that's not right. You just feel like that's not right. For one thing, there's so many bald-headed black people running around St. Louis. Is crazy, even in 1997. And for two, that doesn't even sound like police work, yo. I feel like this stuff was done to me. And though a lot of people tell me to go ahead, hey, you can't let that define your life. You have to move on. You got to understand, this is a felony that's on my record. The mistake I made there, it's not that I robbed anybody, that I was some type of criminal in the way these people want to go ahead and make me. It's the fact that I wasn't educated enough at that time to say, I want to fight my trial. It's just like a bunch of other people who are put in that circumstance where you're looking at, either you say you did something that you didn't do and go home, or you keep fighting it against people that you really don't feel like you can win against and end up spending the rest of your life in prison. Not everybody has to make that decision, in which I became a victim of one of those. I compare what happened there to being raped in some respects. And if you go to a woman who had been raped in the past and say, hey, you need to get over that. You need to go ahead and move past that rape that happened to you. That would be so insensitive to say. In that way, that's how I see it's the same thing. I can't get a job right now. I mean, this is so many years later. I still can't get a job because they say, hey, you got this felony on your record. Like, oh my God. This is like 15 years later, yo. I can never hold office, and I have such strong political views. I can't work for a bank or 7-Eleven. And I'm for sure denied on so many other things just because of this felony conviction, which nobody looks past that. It's just something on paper, and nobody sits down and talks to me. And so this is why it's hard to shake that. Why? It's hard to get past some things in life. Because I believe that there are stronger powers at work that can mess up your life. So hear me as a testify on that. I suggest, yo, if you're on the street doing what you're doing, whatever, yo, I understand. But either you get smart enough to know how to handle yourself if stuff like that does come up, or you need to change the venue. Because even though that was done to me, the only way to get past it is to understand that I made a mistake of not fighting for my freedom. You have to move past your mistakes. Yo, I thank you for listening. If you have questions about maybe the case or such like that, I am more than happy to go ahead and answer them. I did plead guilty to second-degree robbery. I went to Boonville, went to prison, and I came home. I mean, the sentence was so messed up that I got 5 years probation. Now, how many people do robbery and get probation? I mean, just think about that. They knew I was innocent too. Anyway, this is my effort at getting past. Thank you for listening. Perhaps you have a similar story to share. Yo, I'm here for you. And if anybody can go ahead and help me get past this, be more than welcome to listen too. Right now, I am putting in my application for clemency in the state of Missouri, though. Woohoo! Might take 2 years to go ahead and clear that up. But if so, things are expunged from my record. I still can't run for any office or anything. But you bet places like Radio Shack, fucking assholes. I'm sorry, did I cuss on her? Man, I didn't even cuss. But better jobs need to go ahead and get a grasp on a freaking commodity out here. Y'all better get used to it. It's your boy, Sean Damien. I'm out.